And with that, we are live. Welcome everybody to Miami Dolphins Syndicate. Jacob here, Donovan here. It's been another week of honestly not really anything happening. But first things first, Donovan, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right. It's currently raining at my house, but what else is new?
It's a nice weather day down here. So I
It
went I
I
went I
I
went on a
was down
little
there before.
I went on a little hike today. I didn't tell you this. This is your first time hearing about it too. I went on a little hike today. Went to Markham Park. Did the little trail they have there. That's a mile, so mile one way, mile the other. And it's a really nice hiking area. And then I was gonna go to the beach, and I was on my way to specifically Hollywood Beach, and I got off the highway. I'm like, you know what? I want to go to the mall. So then I just kept going south and ended up at Aventura Mall.
Bro, you went on the Ives Dairy?
Went to what?
Oof. You, Ives Dairy is the exit that you get off
Yes.
of to go to
Oh,
Aventura
it,
Mall.
dude, it was
Bro,
awful.
that's probably the worst exit that ever
Oh,
existed in mankind.
so by the time I got onto whatever that road is that runs north and south, and then that little exit to Ives there, and then going to the highway. By the time I got on that whatever that road is that goes north to south, I think it took me a solid 30 minutes to get to 95 alone. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, it's absolutely horrific. Like the I used to work over in Aventura, so the way I got out of there was always like the middle lane and just like took that and then just cut everybody off to
Yeah.
get on the back
uh,
back.
we definitely did some cutting off. We definitely did some cutting off
Bro,
today.
you have to, bro. You have to. Like everybody drives like that down there. You just have to.
Yeah, but it was worth it. It was a pretty good day for me. Like I said, the hike was nice. You know, get out in nature. I wish we had more hiking spots down here than we do.
Yeah.
And I was just feeling like going to the beach, and then just like last second, I'm like, you know what? I need to buy some clothes. I ended up only getting a shirt and some underwear, but it was an effective day. It was a fun day. You know, you had to work and then drive. You literally just got back. Like we had two completely different days.
Yeah, I mean, I worked most of the day, and then had to wait like an extra 30 minutes after I finished my day just to clock out. And then yeah. So that
Yeah,
was fun.
I did not work. I didn't. I just messed around pretty much all day, and you had to work. Two very different days,
Yeah.
but thank y'all, everybody here for joining and watching. I see we got 5 right now in the chat. Appreciate y'all liking and subscribing to the channel if you have not done so already. Get involved in the comments of the stream. We'll talk about anything y'all want to talk about. However, the first thing that we are going to be talking about naturally is the Dalvin Cook situation and just more and more information that has come out. So my opinion from the very jump was I thought it was very likely the Dolphins would end up signing Dalvin Cook. It's now been clear that the Dolphins and him have had some communications, and today, for about 20 minutes, there was thoughts that maybe
Bro.
he rejected a visit to the Dolphins. That has then come out to not be true, and in just how it looks like it's down to the 3 AFC East teams of the Patriots, the Jets,
Hmm.
and the Dolphins. So we are getting closer and closer to an ending to the saga, and just hopefully it goes the way of the Dolphins. How confident right now today do you feel about Dalvin Cook ending up as a Dolphin?
I'm about 78% sure he's gonna be a Dolphin.
78% sure. That's a very weird number.
Weird number.
That's a
Yeah,
very
man.
that's a very weird number, which I
Bro,
like weird numbers, so go for it.
I know you do. I know you do. So yeah, 78% sure. It's like because I'm not sure. I'm not 100% like 80%, and I definitely feel more confident than like 70%. So it's just I went for a weird number in the middle there. Um, it's really just like him having constant communications with the Dolphins, and then saying that he's a perfect fit. And now the Dolphins offered him a contract, and then with that whole little saga today, the way I took it, because the video that he retweeted on was mostly talking about the Dolphins, but it also briefly talked about the Jets. However, it did come out along with that he didn't reject a visit to the Dolphins, is that he didn't reject a visit to the Dolphins, Bills, Jets, or Patriots. So he didn't reject a visit to any of those four. So it may have been the Broncos that he actually rejected a visit from, because they were like one of the heavy contenders to trade for him, and then they all of a sudden they dropped off the face of the planet from that conversation.
Yeah, and it makes sense that you don't want to end up as a Bronco. Now, I think Javonte Williams is going to take some time to be at full strength. Now, when does he actually touch the field? Maybe that might be week 5, week 6, but maybe he's not even 100% till week 9 or 10. But once he does come back and once he is at full strength, he is going to be the number one back and that offense, as well as they don't have a great offensive line. They added to that in the offseason. They got Mike McGlinchey. Not sure what they did, if anything, through the draft. I know Mike McGlinchey was the main offensive line signing from them. Is there anybody I'm missing? They signed a whole. They did sign a whole bunch of people, but we're not sure how it's actually going to materialize. As well as Russell Wilson, we know how much he struggled last year, so it makes sense that he rejects them.
It is understandable that he rejects them, especially in that division in particular. I feel like he wants to help a team get over the hump. However, that division, you have Kansas City, then you just have a new offensive coordinator with the Chargers. That is going to help Justin Herbert actually throw the ball better.
And also Austin Eckler on top of that.
Like, that offense is already good, and they just drafted another receiver. They have a good offensive coordinator. They already have a good pass catching running back. That offense is set. So you're talking about the third best team in that division, more than likely. And, trying to help them go over the hump, not going to happen. However, the Dolphins, at one point, we all thought that they were going to win this division last year. Then Tua got the first concussion, then the second concussion, and it was just
the second, then third.
Whatever. You know what I mean. And so that whole mess. So the Dolphins are ready for this. The Dolphins have the division in their sights. Now, the division's also wide open to almost everybody except really the Patriots. I think sneaky to take the third spot.
No.
Yeah,
it's sneaky to get a third bottom in the NFL. Maybe that's what you mean. Not trying to put words in your mouth here.
I was gonna say over the Jets, but yeah.
Oh no, I don't think they're anywhere near the Jets right now. I think everything you're saying makes a lot of sense for the Dolphins, and I do lean still that he ends up as a Dolphin. It makes sense football wise. You look at our backfield, we have the slot open for a number one workhorse running back. I don't think he still is the workhorse that he once was, but he definitely steps in and is the best running back on roster. You do that with the Jets. Once Breece Hall's healthy, he's for sure the guy. You look at the Patriots, and while he is probably better than Ramondre Stevenson, there is that still a little bit of that uncertainty whether he's going to be that true workhorse with how we saw Ramondre finish the season off last year, as well as the Patriots offense sucking, Patriots offensive line getting worse. Football-wise, it makes so much sense. And then contractually-wise, we did open up the money with Byron Jones. Haven't used that really at all. The money is there to give. He's from down here. I may not be as giddy to say 78% that he joins the Dolphins. I may not be quite there. Yeah. I'd probably say 60% Miami, 30, I'll say 25% Jets, and then whatever the rest you can split between the Patriots and the Bills. I do not think he's going anywhere besides the AFC East. So it makes so much sense to me, and we're just getting closer and closer to what I feel is almost inevitable.
Yeah, it's definitely coming sooner rather than later. Now, he did want to sign by training camp, and training camp is at this point a couple weeks away for rookies, and about a little under a month away for veterans. So, he wants to be signed by then, kind of get in the mix, learn a playbook. And like you said, I think it's really narrowed down to the AFC East with how wide open it is between all the teams, really. He also is open to the option of pairing with D-Hop. D-Hop is heavily considering the Patriots. Now, he's only had 2 visits, D-Hop, by the way. And that's been the Titans and the Patriots. He hasn't had another visit yet, which is kind of strange, but
yeah, it definitely is. I would have thought either one of them would have got their situation figured out right now, and I don't really like for both of them either. Well, I'll just talk about D-Hop. I don't like either of those locations for D-Hop. You have that Patriots offense that it should be better. Now you got O'Brien back there, but does Bill O'Brien have a good relationship with D-Hop? Basically, he traded him away for a bag of chips. And we've never really successful. It's been a long time since we've seen a dominant wide receiver one for the Patriots, as well as more and more players are coming out against the Patriot way. And then Tennessee, who's going to be their quarterback? They don't have a single good quarterback on the roster. It's just a Derrick Henry show until the wheels fall off there. So I don't understand D-Hop to either of those teams.
I mean, if D Hop wants to contend for a championship, I don't understand those teams. However, if he wants volume and he uh and on like a 1 year deal get volume and then show he still has it and then go get paid somewhere else a year later, then I do think that those teams make sense because like you said, they really lack wide receivers there in both areas. And so he could be the number one over in the Titans. He's easily a number one over on the Patriots. But yeah, so it is weird. Anyways, back to
Yeah, one thing I was going to ask,
Dalvin
wanted to
Cook.
ask you about Dalvin is, what team could you truly say he makes that much of a difference on more than the Dolphins with the guys that we just mentioned at the teams?
The
If you want to talk about the Bills, they already have a running back. His name's Josh Allen. He's wearing 17. Like, he just runs the ball a lot. They have refused to turn and hand the ball off. Now, they haven't had they haven't had a running back the caliber of Dalvin Cook. However,
Exactly.
they're just running Josh Allen into the ground. So I guess there is that option.
But
So
they're
football wise,
also
that makes the most sense. But also, that seems like the least talked about place where he might go to of the division.
well, it's the least talked about because his brother's there, and a lot of people like myself don't think that like yeah, it'd be cool to play with your brother, but you're at the same position, so you want your brother to succeed. You don't really want to overshadow your brother again, and like you want him to get his touches, get his money. Like you
And I will
did.
say, I
So
think his brother's pretty trash.
I know you do. A lot of people would agree with you.
Yeah, because he is.
I'm holding my opinion on him for now.
He has
I,
never
I
in
need
his college or pro career had a game where he rushed more than 13 times.
I understand that. So
Trash.
he was drafted in what the third round for a reason. So
Yeah, the reason was his last name's Cook. That's the only reason.
we'll see how he does this year. Given if Dalvin doesn't go to them, but a reason for Dalvin to go to the Bills, especially Josh Allen, has been talking a lot this offseason about taking less hits, throwing the ball a little bit more, and not running as much and putting his body in harm's way, especially after suffering that elbow injury. Given that elbow injury happened when he was in the pocket, which ironically, but yeah, I think that's a good spot for him because it'll help diversify the offense. That's exactly the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Diversify the offense.
Yeah, football wise, if not Miami, it does make the most sense there. They do not have a
Mhm.
running back of any quality. I mean, Damian Harris is very okay, and then they got what your boy Latavius Murray that you absolutely love to talk about in fantasy football wise.
I dropped him, bro.
Yeah, after it took about 2 or 3 weeks of him being on the Bills roster before you dropped him. I remember when he initially signed on the roster, you were like, "Ooh," and I'm like, "Dude, he's gonna suck."
Bro, I did that as a joke.
No, you did not. You did that.
Bro,
You did
what?
that. You
I
did
said
that.
I said
You
RB1
did that to try to
as a
trade him.
joke.
You did that because you wanted to see if he had trade value. Don't lie to me.
I didn't drop him because I thought he would have a little bit of trade value. Then I picked up, two guys that had more trade
No,
value.
I'm saying that
than him,
when he initially got there, you were kind of hoping that you'd be able to trade him for something because especially I know your brain. I know how your brain works where you're just fiending for trades.
At the time, Damian Harris wasn't there, so yes, I was fiending for a trade.
I don't think that's true. I think Damian Harris signed first.
Really?
I'm a solid 86 since we're just throwing out weird numbers. I'm a solid 86% that he signed first. Because 87 is stupid.
Prime number.
Because I'm pretty sure that's actually a good point. I didn't think about it like that. Wait, no, it's not. It's divisible.
No, it's not.
It's not. It's divisible by 3.
It's
Absolute
not.
moron. I'm pretty sure the last Dolphin to wear 87 was Isaiah Ford, and he's awful. So, not a good number.
I don't think 87 was worn by Isaiah Ford.
He
I think
he had
wore
2
84.
stints. He had 2 stints with the Dolphins, one where he wore 84, one where he wore 87.
Mm,
I'm like
I don't
I'm like
doubt
90. I'm 93%
He
sure that's
was
true.
he was the most mid receiver the Dolphins have ever had, and that's saying a lot because we had a lot of mid receivers. But like he was like he would either be like really good in the slot or just like, bro, why aren't you getting open? Like, what is happening?
The Dolphins roster from the years of 2018 to I'd even say 2021
Bro,
was
I would
really
go back to
weird.
2016.
26.
I would
Okay,
go back.
fine. Well,
I would go
here's
back
what.
to 20. If you want to talk about receivers alone, going back to 2016, our receivers are really weird.
Yeah, Isaiah Ford is probably the highlight there. You got Mac Hollins, who he had like a few good individual moments. He somehow got Mac Hollins was a
Bro,
captain. Mac Hollins was a captain. How did that even happen?
well, he was a special teams ace. That's that.
I don't care what he was. You should.
He was a special team. He's a special teams captain. You have one captain for special teams, one for offense, one for defense, and then you have a couple others mixed in there somewhere.
I don't know if that's true. I don't. Did we have a special
That
teams
is true.
captain last year?
Yeah.
Who?
Last year it was Clayton Fedulum.
Was he really?
Or no, not Clayton Fedulum.
Was it Morstead? If anybody, I feel like it was
Yeah,
Morstead.
I think it was Morstead.
If anybody, I feel like if anybody, Morstead.
I think because Clayton Fedulum had it the year before.
How many catches did Alan Hearns have in his Dolphins career? 6?
Not
I mean,
many, bro.
I
I
mean-
mean, he was coming off the practice squad. He wasn't actually on roster. He got promoted.
I don't know if
think,
that's
anyway.
I don't know if that's the case. There's a few players. He's one of them that like they weren't good players, but they opted out during the COVID year, and you're just like, what are you doing? Like you
Bro,
are
like
dependent.
Albert Wilson.
You are dependent each and every year on playing because you're not good. So we need to see if you're good, and you're just gonna say, nah, I'm not gonna play football. I don't understand that
Bro,
decision at all.
that's what I was saying about Albert Wilson.
Albert
I'm
Wilson
like,
was a baller for 10 minutes. Like he had his moments where he's
bro,
like, whoa.
dude, you remember the Jakeem Grant Albert Wilson high five?
I was just about to say the Raiders game, bro. Dude, they were stunned on. It's funny
Dude.
how bad the Raiders have been. The Raiders defense has just been atrocious for as long as I can remember. And bro, we embarrassed them. Was that with Brock Osweiler?
It was with Brock Osweiler.
Oh my gosh, Brock Osweiler. He played well against that game, and he played well against the Bears later in that
Bro,
season.
How did we get 10 wins in 2016? Like, if you think about the roster that we had,
We had 10
like,
wins in
okay.
2016.
Yeah, dude, we made the playoffs in 2016 with 10 wins.
Oh wait, well that's not the same season then. I don't think it is. At least I think
2017 was when 2018 was when
the
Brock Osweiler
the
was
high
there.
five we started.
Because we had Jay Cutler in 2017.
The high five that was when we started off the season 3-0 and we finished the season with like 8 wins.
Yeah. Hey, we did the same thing in I think 2013 or 2014 we did the same thing.
What are some other trash players that we've had on the team, or players that we've signed and just did not live up to the hype?
Brandon no, Mike Wallace.
Mike freaking Wallace, dude. I almost got his jersey. I was so happy when we signed him, and not that I watched a lot of him with
so was
Pittsburgh.
I.
It's not even that I saw him. I was like, oh, that's a good receiver. It's like, oh, we gave a receiver a lot of money. He must be good, and he wasn't.
Exactly. What's up, Hammer?
Hammer, back-to-back streams. I remember you last week. Welcome to the stream, homie. Speaking of trash receivers, let's just talk about this real quick. Devontae Parker got an extension somehow. God knows how. I mean, so the Patriots.
It's not God knows how. Like, okay.
Wait one second.
He
the Patriots.
deserves to be on a
Here,
roster.
wait. The Patriots gave the same exact contract to 2 receivers that are both worse than Jacoby Myers, and Jacoby Myers also got the same exact contract. Make sense.
I will agree with you there. I will agree with you there.
3-year, $33 million contract. 3 wide receivers signed the same exact contract. Jacoby Myers is the best of the bunch, and the Patriots let him walk to then give it to Juju and Devontae Parker. Are you kidding me?
So, Jay pointed out to us is like the only real difference between the 3 of them is guaranteed monies. So I think Jacoby
That
had
can be
the most
worked around.
guaranteed Yeah, exactly.
He got
but-
$22 million guaranteed. I think I was looking it up earlier. I think he got like 22. Jacoby did.
So you want to know what's funny about Devontae Parker's contract is it's not only just worth $33 million over 3 years. He gets a per game bonus. If he plays in a game, he gets a bonus.
Well,
So
I mean that's where his bonuses
that-
should lie because he just doesn't play.
But the thing is, I agree with you, and I love Devontae Parker. You know,
I don't. I do not whatsoever.
Well, you know why I love him.
I think it's stupid.
Yeah, he was one of my favorite receivers, and not even because of his skill level. It's just because it's fun to watch what he does.
No, it's
Like,
not.
What, bro? To watch him just go and catch a 50-50 ball like every 2 or 3 times he's thrown the ball, like That
I'd rather Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill break somebody's ankles.
oh, 100%.
But you just
I'm not
said
gonna
that's like one of
argue.
your favorite things to watch. How can it be one of your favorite things to watch if you'd rather see Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill do what they do?
Because it is one of my favorite things to watch still. I can
Devontae
have two
Parker,
favorite things.
if Devontae Parker wasn't, it's just like Mike Gesicki. If Devontae Parker was not a first round pick, if Mike Gesicki was not a second round pick, let's say they were fifth and sixth round picks, you would not have the same adoration because when they are drafted that high, you immediately crown them that they're going to be this ultimate success that neither of them amounted to be.
No.
That's what we do.
Around.
That's what we do. Fun, fun to watch him limp
I,
around. Yeah, it's exactly
bro,
right, Hammer.
I had what was it? With Preston Williams, I was like, I had like a similar thing for him, and then I'm like, bro, if he actually tried, fun to watch him. He never sat on the bench.
He's the other way around.
In the game or out.
Preston Williams was the other way around. He was this like this golden treasure that you got out of nowhere. That like especially at a receiver position where like the kind of sky's the limit. You feel like you stole something by getting a receiver that's actually going out and getting touchdowns. And then his second season, we're like, oh, that's why he's undrafted because he's not good at football, and he's so incredibly undisciplined.
Hey, by the way, did you see Benchwarmer Brand on his top 10 most likable players in the NFL? Christian Wilkins was number 9.
Should be higher.
Should be higher. And like he actually put he was like, I'm make this video in like a couple days. Tell me what players should be on it. And I put both Christian Wilkins and Jalen Waddle. Like Jalen Waddle's so likable, bro.
I mean, Jalen Waddle definitely is, but like Wilkins has to be on a top 10. I would not say Waddle has to be on a top 10.
So, what I didn't like about the video is like he's like, why is this random Dolphins defensive player? I'm like, bro, random Dolphins defensive player?
He lives on the West Coast. He doesn't know. He lives in Denver.
He lives in Denver, but like if we're talking about a top 5 defensive tackle in the league.
Exactly. Nobody cares really about the top end defensive tackles, especially personality wise. That's one of those things where like if you're a fan of the team, like we're doing, we hold them to like this high, where he actually is. He's a great player and he's a great personality. He's fun to root for. But if you're a Broncos fan, you don't care about him.
But it's funny also because what was it? He was saying that the offensive and defensive linemen are probably some of the funniest dudes in the league.
Oh, for sure.
But no one ever gets to see it because all we really see is corners, wide receivers, and quarterbacks.
Now, it's a funny video that I sent to the group chat. I'm not sure if you watched it because you didn't say anything about it. The Raw podcast, the Raw Room, is like one of my favorite like shows to listen to with Devin Bates and a bunch of different people. He had
the shower thing.
Yeah, he had Jordan Matthews, and they were talking about the shower situation. I'm like, oh, bro, that's just so. I've never been in a situation where like I've group showered with a bunch of men, and like growing up, I remember in elementary school, I thought that was like something I would just eventually have to do. And in high school basketball, we didn't do that. We just went home and showered at home. So like, got to avoid that one, thankfully. But like my whole life, I was like, especially growing up, knowing I was just gonna play sports until I couldn't. I was like fearful of that happening. I'm like, I don't want to shower with a bunch of dudes. And then you hear Jordan Matthews and the rest of them talking about it. I'm like, oh, it's just as bad as you think it is.
Yeah, well, I didn't get to finish watching it, but I was like, I remember him saying like when he was a freshman in college or something that he first went and washed with like his
tights on
and everything. Yeah. And I'm like, honestly, I'd probably do the same.
It would definitely take. I would definitely take an easing process. And now, I don't know if I would have done that. Like, I would have walked in and found my little corner, away from people.
Goodfellas reference.
But then, when he starts talking about like people just doing belly flops in the shower and like coming up behind you and saying something, I'm like, nah. Nope.
Wait,
not for me.
I didn't get to that part.
Well, yeah, because you just said you didn't watch the whole thing. Well, I mean, it was a throwaway comment. He's like dudes will just like straight up belly flop into the shower. I'm like, nah, crazy. I'm not trying to. I need my space. I don't want to be showering with a bunch of other dudes. So I thought that was absolutely hilarious. I think that's a great pod to listen to. I just watched individual clips, but like they give like the raw, like unfiltered, just talking about how their experience was in the league that like I have not heard anywhere else.
Yeah, I like listening to that kind of stuff. I also like listening to when players like break down plays and like the specific.
Oh
I
no
can't
no
say
no
it.
no 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 no
That's
no
what I just-
no no. Okay, just
You
put
know
put
what?
just.
You know what word?
I will explain this for him. He was struggling for a solid 5 minutes, and he still has not figured out the word he's trying to say.
Specificity?
Specifically, is the word he's trying to
It's
say.
not
He's
specifically. It's not. It's specificity. Specificity.
he's
Yeah,
invented a
something like
word.
that.
That's not no. You've said like 6 different words, and none of them are actual
Hold on.
words.
Hey, help me out, Hammer. You know what word? Because it's not.
No,
It,
you've said
it,
you just
the
creating
way-
words.
It's not. It's not creating. It's.
Yes, it is. You're just
It's
creating
like
words.
It's like specifically, but it's you can't put specifically in that sentence.
Yes, you
can't
can.
put-
You're just
can't
stupid.
you can't put. No, you're stupid. You can't. Put,
Specificality, or is that what you're trying to say? I don't even know if that's a word.
No.
Then if bro, you've said like 6 different words, and I'm like, how did you even say that out loud? Like, if I said that word out loud, like I probably sneezed while typing. That's how we came there.
Specificity. Specificity.
That's not a word. Whatever. What you just, I believe you that Google's saying it. I'm saying what you said out loud is not a word.
Specificity.
Yeah, that's not what you said. That's not.
But
Say
I was
it.
trying to say it.
You said like 17 different words, and none of them are that.
Specificity. I still can't say it.
Yeah,
But
we do not doubt that whatsoever. That you lack intelligence.
whatever.
And
Actually, Hammer, we were gonna get to that.
what we're gonna
we're
go to?
talk about that. Yeah, the Teron Armstead on I Am Athlete.
Oh, I saw that. I'm like, who is TA? I'm like, Terrell Owens. That's not A. We will get to that,
T.O.
but I would like to do one segment first that we can see your intelligence level. So last week we did a
Oh
little
my
thing,
God.
and you saw it, the video a few days ago where we argue back and forth between Trevor Lawrence and Tua. Who's the guy you'd rather have? I'd rather have Trevor Lawrence. He'd rather have Tua. It's okay. You can have
We're
wrong
talking about
opinions.
right now.
You can
We're
have wrong
talking about
opinions.
right
It's
now.
okay. It's okay. You can be wrong, and you can. I would like to
If
see
you're
how. No, shut the fuck up. I would like to see how continued wrong you will be. So what we're going to do here is we are going to just list off NFL quarterbacks, and you are going to say whether you would
Okay.
like them over Tua or not over Tua.
Before we get into this,
Oh jeez, no, we
talking
already.
to-
Well,
are
here's
we
okay.
are
Okay,
we-
wait, time out,
wait,
time out.
wait, wait,
No,
wait,
no,
wait,
no.
wait.
First
Wait,
quarterback.
wait,
First
are-
quarterback. First quarterback.
Wait,
Trevor
no, wait,
Lawrence.
no, I have a question. I have a question.
Oh my
Are we
gosh.
are these quarterbacks are we taking them right now as they are, or are we going to build our franchise around them? Like if you're talking about
It
we
is
need to
so
go win a
hard to
Super-
record videos
if-
of this guy. He requires
if-
the most specificality or whatever the word is. All right, first quarterback Trevor Lawrence.
specific.
First quarterback Trevor. I'm not answering your question.
I'm asking you a question.
And I'm not answering it. First quarterback Trevor Lawrence.
Okay, then I'm answering this. I'm answering it two ways. I'm answering it two
No,
ways.
no,
If
we're
we're
no,
going-
no, no. Be a
if
man.
I
Be a
wa-
man.
if
Say it
we're
with your
talking
chest.
about this
Be
year,
a man.
right
Grow
now,
up hair.
We're going
Put some hair on your chest.
Tua. If we're talking about right now going for a Super Bowl this year, I'd rather have Tua.
Jeez, yeah, complete opposite. Could not disagree more. Give me Trevor Lawrence. Give me the bigger arm. Give me the mobility. Give me the lack of injuries throughout his career. Give me just everything
Give
that
me
I've
the
seen from
knowledge
Trevor
and the
Lawrence.
accuracy.
I mean, maybe he's slightly less accurate, but that slight decrease in accuracy does not make me want him less than Tua. Everything that else that he can do,
If you're talking
and
about,
everything that we
if
saw
you're
get better at the end of the
if you're-
year when Tua
we're
wasn't playing because of
talking
his injury.
if we're talking about a team that we want to build around this quarterback and help him develop and everything else, then yeah, I'm going to take Trevor Lawrence. He has the higher potential, but who has the higher floor right now? That is Tua.
That's just so far from correct. We're going to move on to quarterback number 2, and I think we're going to agree on this one, and that's going to be number 1 over in Arizona, Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray and Tua, who would you rather have?
I'm going to say Tua strictly four. Kyler kind of drove D-Hop out of there. He has the injury going on. We don't know how he's going to come back from that. Plus, he's kind of fatter now than he was before, so we don't know how
Ain't
fast
no
he's
way
gonna be.
you're talking about that, buddy.
Bro, I'm talking about NFL athletes comparing to each other.
Ain't
Yeah,
no way. Brother, you compared yourself to Nick Merckx and Tim the Tatman the other day talking about streaming and playing video games. I don't want to hear it.
So?
Exactly. No, believe it or not,
I said he's a little bit fatter than what he was before. So
believe it or not, I actually agree with you. I would rather take Tua over
Yeah.
Kyler Murray. The head case that he has become year after year, it's just a different offseason issue with him every single year. Similarly with Tua, the injuries have started to stack up, and the lower body injuries, especially, the more you get, the less mobile he is. He does have a really good arm, especially compared to Tua, so that is the one thing he has over him. However, I don't think he's a good locker room leader. He's even smaller than Tua is, and that's a big problem I have with Tua. All he has on Tua is the arm and the mobility. Everything else, I trust Tua more. I love Tua at the podium. He just always seems to say the right things. So complete agreement here across the board with Kyler Murray. Moving on to another number one over in Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts. Don't do it.
y'all might hit me for this.
Don't do it. I mean, I'm not sure if you're referring to me or the people, so go ahead. I'm not even going to cut you off. Go ahead.
So I'm talking to you. I think I'm gonna go.
Don't say it.
I can't.
say it.
I can't.
Don't say it.
I want to, but I can't.
Be a man. Say what you want.
I want to go Jalen, but I can't. I gotta go Tua. I want to go Jalen. I do.
Then
I
do
do.
it because it makes so much sense.
But we talked about this. He has a smaller arm. That he's more mobile. He's not as accurate.
Barely. The accurate.
He's way more mobile. He's way more durable.
Yes.
I do. I mean, and, I argued with you that I rather actually have. You spelled Hurts wrong. I rather have
Hammer. Come on,
drafted,
man. Oh, jeez. We got two of you bozos in here. All right, one in the chat, one I have to talk to. Come on, guys.
I told you way back when that I rather have drafted Jalen in the second round than Tua. Then I changed my mind. I liked Tua, and then going into last year, I was like, I think Jalen's gonna take a leap, and I really do like Jalen. I really do, but how long can his mobility keep him at the top of the pack?
Infinitely, because he has the biggest legs in a quarterback that we've probably ever seen. So I don't really worry about the extremities injuries like you do with Kyler Murray. Now Kyler Murray's, he's got some legs. He's not tiny, like actually tiny. He's got a little weight on himself, but like, can't he squat like 600 pounds or something stupid? Like what other quarterback? Is just pushing through an entire defensive line like he does?
Yeah. Jalen does have running back legs.
Oh, he
does.
Massive legs, and I might go as far as say he's the best leader in the entire NFL. Like nobody, I don't think anybody's better at a podium. I don't think anybody's better at a locker room. I don't think.
I love this guy.
Hammer, we don't need you here, bro. Get lost, all right? Kick rocks, bud, all right? Your opinions are trash just like this man right here. Opinions are awful. Jalen Hurts. I think he is, like I said, I think he's the best leader off the field. I think he's the best leader from a quarterback on the fields. I've never really seen a team rally around a guy that has his limitations like the Eagles have with Jalen Hurts. And everything
besides Mike White, but
everything, no, even not to that extent, because they still, they still lost, and they were like when Fields came, or not Fields, when what's his name came back, they're like, okay, whatever. I haven't. And he also the things that he's bad at or was bad at, he took such leaps. Like he got so much more comfortable in the pocket last year. His accuracy went from like his rookie year being amongst the worst in the NFL to very good. I
told you. Since he left Alabama, his accuracy increased each year.
Yeah, and that's what we've seen with him here. So he's just continuing to get better. Now the arm strength, if you say his arm's weaker than Tua, I mean you take your pick who's weaker. They both have pretty noodle arms. Like that's something that I don't think anybody would argue against. They both have amongst the weakest arms in the NFL. However, everything else he's already either already great at or continues to get better at. I'm 100% taking Jalen Hurts there.
I'm like, it's like a 51-49 thing for me.
No, I love Jalen Hurts. I love every time he opens his mouth.
Jalen Hurts.
Every time he opens his mouth, I'm like, yes.
Ayo.
Shut up. Every time he goes to speak, I'm like, that's exactly what he should be saying. He never misses a step. He never there's no controversy, as well as his play just continues to build every single year.
And the amount of like that he beat himself up after the Super Bowl loss.
Yeah.
and everybody's like, bro, that's not on you. And it really wasn't. It was just Mahomes being Mahomes and the Eagles defense really crumbling, but whatever.
No, 100%. Next quarterback up in New York, Mr. Danny Dimes, who we take.
Oh, Tua.
Yeah,
Tua.
Tua. Now there definitely is an argument. There is an argument to be made that
There is an
Daniel
argument,
Jones in
especially
that
with Dable there.
brother. If you cut me off one more time, I'm ending the fucking stream. If Daniel Jones with that first year in New York with Brian Dable, that was the best we've ever seen from Daniel Jones in his entire career. Everything, kind of like Jalen Hurts last year, everything that he needed to get better at, we did see get better, and his receiving core was atrocious.
Oh, man.
Atrocious, like worst receiving cores in the NFL. So he's continuing to get better, and he has some of those skill sets that we see with Jalen Hurts.
And they did sign some receivers this offseason, given they're not, it's not at the level of the Dolphins or the Bengals or, the Chargers. But yeah, it's definitely still a lot better than what it was before. I think Danny Dimes has potential, but he also has those lower body injuries. He rolled his ankle, I think, 2 seasons in a row. I think last year he played through it, but the year before that he sat out 6 games or something like that.
I don't remember exactly, but Tua's definitely have worse injuries. So there's that.
I remember, obviously, but I remember he left one game, and then his backup also had to leave that game, and then Saquon ended up being quarterback.
Yeah,
that was this year.
Yeah, that did happen. Now I will,
but then Daniel Jones played the next week. So
with Daniel Jones, like I am saying Tua, but like I could see a world where by week 8, I'm like, you know what? He's continuing to make strides, and as an athlete, he is absolutely incredible. Large, 6'4", 6'5", whatever it is, cannon of an arm, and if the football things get better, it's a very good quarterback.
If he can fix his mentals, which is reading a defense, which Dable has helped him leaps and bounds with from his trash coaches before.
Yes.
So Dable is such a good coach, similar to McDaniel. And I wanted Dable, but I was really really happy with McDaniel. But yeah, so Dable's just that good of a coach that I think he could take him there. It's really just Tua's here, Daniel Jones is here. Can he pass him? Do they keep making their strides up? Like, do they go like this?
Yeah. I think that's a good way of putting it. The last guy we're going to talk about is somebody that you and I have argued about before, and I don't understand how it's still an argument. I know who you're probably thinking. I'm thinking. No, I'm not thinking of Dak Prescott, but somebody else that we have somehow argued about, and you still have sometimes refused to join on the correct side, and that being Justin Herbert.
Oh, Justin Herbert, come on.
Okay. Don't say that. Don't say like it's so obvious, because I feel like just not 3 months, like 5 months ago, you were trying to be like, yeah, I don't know. I think I'd rather take Tua.
See, Tua is a winner versus Justin Herbert, but Justin Herbert he never had the help, and that was my argument with Tua too. So I couldn't really say, hey, look, the bald is out of the conference.
The bald. Dable, the bald.
The bald.
Keep going with Herbert.
Me too.
Yeah, we know you're bald.
I'm not bald.
You're
getting there. You're getting there for the touch of the night.
I'd rather. That is not true at all.
The middle of my hairline just hasn't caught up to yours.
Brother, my middle hasn't gone anywhere either, and I have a lot more. I have way more hair. I've got a solid 4 years. I have a solid few years where you're like, this time next year, you might well just everything.
So, anyways, with Herbert, I made the excuses for Tua with his first year having no receivers, and his second year all he had was Waddle. I mean, we saw Herbert has had Eckler this whole time. He has had Keenan Allen, Mike Williams this whole time. But Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, they haven't been healthy. Offensive line also. His first and third year, Justin Herbert had one of the worst offensive lines in football. Now, given the Dolphins were like middle of the pack last year, and then 2 years before that they were really bad. But it's the same arguments to be made, but we see when the ball is given and they have the help, who would you rather have to go make a play? Now, if you're talking to me on a fourth quarter drive, I think I'd rather have Tua, but throughout the rest of the game, I'd rather have Herbert. So I'm going to take Herbert overall.
It's like you said
Bro,
you said the right thing, and then you said everything to make me disagree with you, and then you still said the right thing at the end of the day. So it's like I want to strangle you right now for everything you just said, but at least you got it right. Like we're getting places.
But my thing with Herbert is that once again, I blame it on coaching more than anything else, but I haven't seen him put together a drive at the end of the game where now I've seen him come close. I haven't seen him really consistently be able to put it together without turning the ball over.
You have seen. Okay, let's just cut to the chase. We have seen Justin Herbert game-winning drives.
I mean, he has a couple game-winning drives. Tua would have.
Tua has a
more
couple. Yeah, like
Tua would have more if in 2021, I think it was, he literally had like 3 game-winning drives that they ended up going and scoring the next drive for the
which games besides the Falcons? Don't say Jaguars because that's not the truth.
Jaguars was.
No, it wasn't. We had the ball with the lead, and then he couldn't pick up a 4th down.
That wasn't bro. Once again, that was.
Say what you want. That we had the ball, we didn't score, and then they got the ball. That's not a game-winning drive.
But we had the lead, and then they had and then they were just safe with it, bro. We had awful offensive.
Yeah, I'm not going to deny that, but that game does not count as a game-winning drive.
Herbert had an OC who made his revolve around Herbie, not Fitzgerald or Fitzpatrick. I mean, so well, he's talking about when we had that old dude as our offensive coordinator that was in love with Chan Gailey, who is in love with Fitzpatrick
moron.
and built our offense around Fitzpatrick, even though Tua was going to be our starter. That was
dude should have been in the retirement home years ago, and he came back. He's
Brian Flores picking an offensive coordinator was just the watch.
Yeah, he
great.
He had 3 seasons, and he had 4 attempts at OC, and none of them were good. Chad O'Shea was okay.
Chad O'Shea, but he fired him because his offense was too complicated.
Well, maybe it was because he hasn't got a job since. So maybe he's actually right.
He interviewed for OC job this year. I think
doesn't mean anything. He doesn't have a job.
I want to say he's the QB coach with the Giants.
Yeah, so clearly he's not a good offensive coordinator, but he was the best of the bunch.
He was definitely the best of the bunch. Chan Gailey, his old school style, like I said. So Devontae Parker, for instance, he thrives in that offense because that was the old school offense. Throw it up, pick a guy and let it fly, like Dan Marino always tells Tua. And given I don't really like that philosophy in today's NFL. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But that's why that offense worked, and Fitzpatrick had his greatest year of his career, even though we only had 5 wins, with that awful. And then Gailey, and then 3 OCs, then Gailey, and then we had the 2 OCs, the Eric Studsville and
Dumb and Dumber. Studsville and somebody else. And remember, we basically had to bully bully him into retirement.
Bro, you remember
the fans bullied him into leaving.
You remember the fake Adam Schefter tweet?
Maybe.
No.
It's like simmering back there. What was it?
45th ranked offensive line. So this dude created a fake Adam Schefter account and then went in and tweeted that the Dolphins fired Chan Gailey, and it blew up to the point that ESPN actually thought that it was Adam Schefter, and ESPN put out a notification, and then Adam Schefter's like, bro, that wasn't me.
Timeout. Yeah, dude, that was awful. Just kind of like we were talking about earlier. It's kind of funny if you just look back and think of the state of our roster for all those years, and just how we were trying to limp to the finish line and how atrocious the team was. Got to be fun to be a Dolphins fan. Still haven't watched my own eyes a playoff win.
That was probably, besides the, actually I think that was more of a fun year than this past year, and this year was pretty fun.
We've made the playoffs. We have Tyreek Hill. and a good
But
offensive coach. Are
hear
you
me
nuts?
out. Hear me out. I'm saying fun to watch, not
No, it wasn't. It was miserable to watch.
We had no expectations going into that season. Not like we knew it was a tank for Tua, and just watching Fitzpatrick go out there and just throw absolute like 50-50 balls to Gesicki and Parker that whole season was so fun to watch.
Did you have season tickets then?
That season, no.
Yeah,
didn't
I
get
did. I
season
had to
tickets
sit there
until-
and watch it. All right, it was not that fun. It was not
I
that
had se-
fun.
I had season tickets to, I think the first year was 2021.
So first year back from
Tua's
COVID.
Tua's sophomore year, yeah, first year back from COVID.
Okay, then let me fill you in. All right, that first game we played against the Ravens, and like I've said it multiple times here on this channel. Donovan, I also like the Ravens, so that one wasn't as hard to swallow. But then the next week when Antonio Brown was on the Patriots for 1 week, and he had a great game. Patriots absolutely destroyed us. We got outscored in the first 2 games. I think something like 98 or like 105 to like 17.
It was something atrocious.
Don't sit there and tell me that season was more fun than Tyreek Hill's running around everywhere. Jalen Wall is an emerging superstar at wide receiver. Tua is having his best season of career, even if he's throwing up gang signs every other game.
That was the reason that this year was kind of frustrating and all, because we were expecting playoffs, and then to watch Tua go down over and over again was kind
it was hard to watch.
like it was hard to watch, and it was frustrating to watch at times, especially like that Chargers game. I was going through so much denial. 49ers.
Trust me, I remember.
The 49ers game, I was going through denial. Just like, bro, how did this happen? Like,
denial is more than just a river.
I watched those 2 games probably 3 times, like the next day after those games. Just like, bro, what happened? What could we have done? And I don't even coach the damn team. I'm just wondering what the hell happened.
Yeah, I remember when we were sitting there in the Airbnb, me, you, and Adam, after watching that Chargers game, and you were so delusional. It was absurd. You're like, Tua didn't have a bad game. You're like, he had open games, but they just didn't hit him. Like, brother, he had like 140 yards.
Hold up.
He had 140 yards and just did not look good.
You're confusing the 2 games.
No.
Tua had a bad game versus the 49ers where he had open guys and didn't hit them. The Chargers one was when no one was getting open because they were being held like crazy. But that was just a bad game for everybody. Like, even when they were open,
and everybody, Tua is part of it.
Tua wouldn't check down the ball, and that's what I was going crazy about that whole like time. And then I'm like, well, there was no one open downfield, but then he started trying to force it, and it just wasn't happening.
I just want to let you know, sitting next to you on that couch as we were making the live stream afterwards, and just hearing the blubber come out of your mouth trying to defend Tua was a top 5 most agonizing thing on this channel.
I'm still like adamant, like he could have played better, but there wasn't that much more room for improvement, given that the offensive line wasn't playing good that game. Tyreek and Waddle were being held half the time. Gesicki didn't have any separation that game. No one really was...
Gesicki didn't have any separation that game? You mean his entire Dolphins tenure?
Well, last year he got open a lot of games, but he was used more of his decoy route. Which would you pick, the Ravens comeback or the Miami Miracle? Chargers had an awful game against the Chargers. Yes, he would.
No, Miami Miracle, 100%. But that's also biased because I was there and I got to live that firsthand. So, I'm not. I wouldn't sell that. I would only sell that for a Super Bowl. That's the only thing I would sell that memory for. Like, being there on that side where he ran, where Kenyon Drake ran into the end zone. Dude, I was weak in the knees walking out of the stadium. I wouldn't sell that for just about anything, short of a championship.
Yeah, I don't know which one I'd rather go. Ravens comeback or Miami? I'm gonna go Ravens comeback because I felt like I was one of like maybe 4 people that actually believed that we can come back.
I don't think you necessarily
'Cause,
believe. I think you're just your dad was just so far the other direction that he turned
dude,
the game off.
my dad turned the game off. Like
Yeah.
when I called him afterwards, he was like, "Wait, we won." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Bro, what? You didn't watch the greatest game of the season?"
See, here's the thing. That game, like, I wasn't happy until we were in the lead. Like, I was so, and you know, the Patriots game. I guess Patriots game, I wasn't
You
miserable
were
at any
at.
point.
Are you from up north?
I was
Are
at
you
the
from up
Ravens
north?
game. Oh, nice. Hey, Hammer,
Dude.
go, be more up. Go Ravens. You know, I'll say that right here. I don't care.
Yeah, well,
We love it.
we all know
I have a
we all know
Lamar
Ravens
Jackson.
is your state.
I have a Lamar Jackson jersey in there. I have a Ed Reed jersey in there. I have a Earl Thomas jersey.
Earl Thomas, look at you.
Yeah, let me go get it. Keep talking.
But yeah, with that Ravens game, I knew we were gonna come back just because we were moving the ball the entire game. Like, yeah, we weren't scoring and we had a couple
Earl
of bad
Thomas.
turnovers. That's crazy. And we had a couple of like bad turnovers to start, but we were moving the ball, and the only time that the Ravens were really scoring against us were on like big plays. So I'm like, look, if we get shut down a couple of their big plays and then continue moving the ball ourselves, I think we can come back and win this. Versus the Patriots game, I was at my mom's house, and my mom doesn't watch football. What's the deal on Cook? We getting him or not? We don't know yet. I'm 78% sure that we're gonna get it. He's 60% sure that we're gonna get it. Or he's which way? That way.
Yeah, that way. Foot on a track like a Segway. Hey.
Hey.
Oh no, you ruined it. You ruined it by acknowledging it. Because you have no rhythm. You don't.
Two Waddle are in the Hall of Fame because of that game. Oh yeah, I forgot their jerseys are actually in the Hall of Fame.
I saw Waddle's jersey for breaking the record for a rookie reception.
Most catches.
Yeah, or
And
whatever
you
it is, yeah.
you know what's funny about that is that people are like, oh, 17 game season don't count. He missed the game because of COVID, so suck a dick. Excuse my language.
Yeah. I can't argue with that on that one. For once, I have nothing to argue back.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean you have a lot. That actually means that you have a lot of bad takes.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does. The
No,
fact
it
that I have to
doesn't.
argue back at you, yes, because you say a lot of stupid stuff on this mic. You say a
On
lot
that
of
mic?
you know what I mean. You say a lot of you say a lot of horrendous things on a live mic. That
No,
like,
I don't. No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about Teron Armstead's interview on I Am Athlete. So, one of the major things.
No, I'm just looking over my shoulder because I'm hungry. I want something to eat. Go ahead.
You can eat after. So Teron
And during.
Armstead, and during whatever. Teron Armstead, he was talking about the most underrated players on the Dolphins. One of them being Kader Kou. He was talking about him possibly playing both slot and boundary. Now, I found this to be interesting. They're talking about him switching with Jalen Ramsey on the outside occasionally, depending on, if you come up against Jamar Chase, he can line up anywhere. Cooper Kupp, he can line up anywhere. So obviously you rather have, thank you, sir. You rather have, obviously Jalen guarding the better receiver, so they could switch in and out. But I thought it was pretty cool how he was saying that Cater's definitely, no matter what, they're going to be the third CB. I thought, Nick Needham, he's coming off the Achilles injury, but we saw that 2 years ago. In my opinion, he was the best slot corner 2 seasons ago. And last year we didn't really get to see him in the slot because Byron Jones, so we only really got to see him on the boundary. Now, he's not as good on the boundary, but 2 years ago being the best slot corner in the NFL, I figure, if he can come back to that and play slot again, bro, we have such a deep cornerback room, and I absolutely love it. Like, given last year we had a deep cornerback, L take. Screw you, Jacob.
That is an L take there. No, not by you, by Hammer before that.
No, it's not.
That's an
That's
L and a half
fat
there.
dub. That's a fat dub.
Yeah, the only thing fat in this is you.
Bro, you weigh more than me.
I'm 6'6",
like
you're
10 pounds.
5'11".
I'm 6 foot.
Only on Tinder.
No. Who has Tinder? You?
You definitely have all the apps on your phone.
No, I don't.
Really?
Really. All right. Anyways,
You have Grinder too, probably.
bro, fuck you.
I
You
saw
have
last
Grindr.
time.
You
I
did
saw-
not see shit. Anyway. Anyway, so Teron Armstead was talking about that. Also, another underrated player he was talking about was Rob Hunt. Obviously, our right guard, Smash. Appreciate you, bro.
Only
But
thing
yeah,
smashing
he's
is he smashes Big Macs.
I don't eat Burger King.
Big Mac is McDonald's, you moron. So not only are you fat, you're also dumb.
I don't eat fast food like that, bro. Sorry, I'm not you. You either go to McDonald's or Popeyes.
But I'm still monkey strength over here. All right, I'm still an animal. You don't want to see me walking on a mile path coming your way.
Okay, you're like one of those little monkeys, like the miniature monkeys. That's
we're
the
getting-
strength that you have.
Oh, we've been going back to the gym. We're getting strong. You could not hang with me in the gym where we're at right now.
Yes, I could.
You be throwing up after eating some chicken tenders in front
I
of
just
a very
won't eat
hot
chicken-
lady.
I just won't be eating chicken tenders. Anyways, so yeah.
True story.
Rob Hunt-
He threw up in the gym after eating chicken tenders in front of a very hot lady.
That was not chicken tenders. That was after eating Panda Express, and that was after also doing what, 5 plates on each side for leg press.
Oh, I know. I threw up after eating chicken tenders one time. remember when you got like 17 things of PDQ and just brought it to my house, so I had like 3 days worth of leftovers.
Wait, you threw up after that?
Well, I was eating chicken tenders for 3 straight
Popeyes.
days. I PDQ chicken tenders for 3 straight days, and then I went and did legs at the gym.
See. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always legs, bro.
However, I made it to the bathroom. You did not make it to the bathroom.
I made it to the bathroom the first time. I threw up 3
No,
times.
you didn't. No, you didn't. No. You misremember. You got off the leg press. You were like leaned over like this, and then just immediately right next. Thankfully, there's the trash can right there, and
No,
then
I
you waddled
went
away. And then he waddled away. Waddle.
Waddle. All right, and so the last thing Teron Armstead really pointed out that was
Popeyes is goated, by
kind
the way.
of-
Continue.
So the last thing that Teron Armstead pointed out about the team is that he thinks Xavier Howard is going to be in contention for Defensive Player of the Year. It's interesting that he didn't say Jalen Ramsey over Xavier
You got
Howard.
to earn his stripes.
But you know, Xavier Howard, like we all know how like his, I think what do you have, 10 or 11 interceptions that year? He arguably
11.
should have been defensive. I think he arguably should have been Defensive Player of the Year that year. So I think he only had like a couple less tackles than Aaron Donald. 11 interceptions versus. It was like, what was more impressive, 11 interceptions or 18 sacks? And I said 11 interceptions. I think Jacob disagreed with me. I think he said 18 sacks was more impressive than 11 interceptions.
I don't remember if I had an opinion, but I don't know.
I want to say that you thought that it should have been Aaron Donald. I said it should have been between T.J. Watt and because T.J. Watt had like 22 sacks or something. Like he was like a sack away from the sack record.
Also,
and
Aaron
then-
Donald's doing all this from interior defensive line, being the best defense player in the game.
I agree, but you know, it's like almost like the Bill Belichick and LeBron James. Like, at what point do you just like that's the expectation? And okay, cool. Like, you got your 3 Defensive Player of the Years now. Let's give it to someone else.
Well, I completely disagree with that mindset. I think every single year it should go to whoever is the best, no matter what.
Oh, I agree with you. I agree with you. I still think Xavier Howard should have gotten that one. But think about how many years that it should have been Bill Belichick as Coach of the Year, or it should have been Tom Brady MVP or LeBron James MVP, and it just wasn't them because of you know that became the expectation for them.
Well, LeBron
Whereas
wants
back
the
in,
most
like-
egregious. Like LeBron should have like 4 or 5 more MVPs. Like when Derrick Rose got MVP, I'm like, are you kidding me?
He actually got 3rd that year.
Did he? That's even more ridiculous.
Yeah, Dwight Howard got 2nd.
I want to say also James Harden year. It was so stupid. Like there was like
I
4
wanna
or
see
5
James
seasons.
Harden. Yeah, there was quite a bit.
Because he's the GOAT. He is the greatest basketball player of all time. I said it.
Greatest of the generation.
No. The greatest human being that has ever graced this earth to ever touch a basketball is LeBron James. Where's it is.
We're going to agree to disagree as always on that topic.
No, we are not.
We agree to disagree. We're disagreeing and we're agreeing to disagree.
Didn't we come to an agreement that, or how I put it, how MJ's story is greater? So if that's how you're looking, if you want to just define it based off that, like, he is the GOAT in terms of he's the GOAT of the NBA. Like, the impact he had on the game, obviously being 100% on his championships, how he changed the shoe game, everything. However, if you just objectively put it together, who is the best individual basketball player? LeBron's a better scorer. He's a better passer. He's a better defender. He's a better pretty much everything, except maybe mid-range shooting. If you want that, go ahead. He's pretty much better everything than LeBron is, or than Michael Jordan is. Excuse me. Name one thing that Michael Jordan's better at than LeBron.
Scoring.
So that's just not true. LeBron has the most points in NBA history. Winning is nothing. I was going to call you out on earlier. There's no such thing. Winner, that's stupid. Like he's more cold-blooded. Yeah, go ahead. But
the NBA is like the one sport that one player can just change the outcome of a game.
And look who Michael Jordan was playing. Like, you could argue that like the Timberwolves today are better than like the Sonics were back then.
Bro, the man was getting tackled to the ground with no fouls called. I don't want to hear it.
And just look at the pure talent in the NBA today. Like the Hornets had one of the worst records in the NBA, and they have LaMelo Ball. Like, almost every single team has a superstar, and now that the Spurs do, is there a single team that doesn't have a player that is either already a star or like you're looking at him like, yeah, he's probably gonna be a star? I don't think there's a single team in the NBA that doesn't have one. Even the Pistons have one.
Well, that's the difference between having a star and a superstar now.
Yes, whereas
like
back then,
they're talking about like,
most of the NBA didn't.
Bam and Jimmy are stars, but they're not superstars. Like, and it's kind of like wild to really think about it. But like, yeah, like we have some star power. Like, Hero can become a star, but he's not a star yet. Jimmy is a star. Bam is a star, but they're not going to be superstars. A superstar is KD, a superstar is Steph, a superstar is LeBron, a superstar is AD, Joel, Kyrie 4 years ago.
Like, if you did a top 10 list of all the players that combined LeBron and Michael Jordan played in the finals, I don't even know how many players actually make the top 10 for Michael Jordan. I mean, who's the best player that Michael Jordan played in the finals? Karl Malone, John Stockton. Who else did he play? So Sean Kemp, Gary Payton. I mean, you look at LeBron. You have Tim Duncan, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kawhi Leonard. Like, you have so many just all-time greats that are better players. I don't know if a single player that Jordan played makes the top 10. Maybe one, maybe two. But other than that, the entire top 10 is
LeBron. Wait, I'm sorry. You rather have like Klay over Stockton or Karl Malone? Now
that's a close one.
I would take Kawhi, but I don't think
Kawhi's better than both Karl Malone and John Stockton.
Yeah.
There's no way
I'm saying I don't think LeBron won against Kawhi except for his rookie year.
Well, he did.
Kawhi's rookie year was the
Kawhi, but I'm not even talking about winning. I'm just talking about playing against. Like, that Warriors team is just ridiculous. Like, of course he loses to that. Even Jimmy Butler in the bubble. Like, who can you confidently say is better than Jimmy Butler that MJ played in the finals? Anybody? Anybody got something?
But Anthony Davis was better than. I would also argue that all the championships that he's won were with better players than MJ had supporting him. AD is definitely better than Pippen.
We're not definitely. We are not a definitely, because that was one championship. We're not a definitely. He doesn't play. It's
He
like
played in
Devontae
the-
Parker. Like, he just doesn't play. Anthony Davis is hurt all the time. The bubble was perfect for the Lakers that year because of the fact that LeBron's getting older and Anthony Davis is so injury prone. They had, 4 months off. That really helped the Lakers. Anthony Davis, it's Anthony Data Davis for a reason. There's a reason why people call him that. Now, yes, talent-wise,
But
yeah,
on
he's
the
better than
floor-
Scotty.
On the floor, bro. On the floor, he's better than Scotty. On the floor. He was
laying down on the
he
ground.
was-
What?
He was on the floor playing when they won their NBA championship. When AD didn't play, they didn't win. Like it's really that simple. Who really carried that team?
LeBron.
Okay.
Are you saying
Anyway.
AD carried the Lakers to a championship?
Look at the plus minus minutes.
Oh, plus
and
minus. Give me a break.
Look
No way. That's the
when-
stat you
when-
pulled out of
when-
your ass.
When AD was on the floor, they were like plus like 20 or something.
Unbelievable.
For the
That's the
series.
stat you pull out.
Oh,
Not
and-
PER, not points per game. Plus minus is the stat you pull out.
Because when LeBron's on the floor without AD versus when LeBron's on the floor with AD versus when AD's on the floor without LeBron. Whenever AD's on the floor, it's always plus, 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 plus. When LeBron is off the floor, the difference between LeBron being off the floor versus AD being off the floor was very minimal impact. AD had a bigger impact on those finals games than LeBron did points wise. Points wise. Not saying leadership wise. I'm not saying, but I'm talking about strictly like on the floor, defensively, offensively, carrying the team on the floor. LeBron was more of a player coach. Yeah, roll your eyes.
I don't know how
buddy.
anybody can take you seriously. Oh my
Player-
gosh.
Bro, being a
Player
player
coach?
that's not a bad thing on a championship team. That's not a bad thing.
Bro,
To bring.
do you know what
to
LeBron
bring the
averaged this
level-
year, 3 years later? He averaged 29 points. 29 points. That's a player coach?
I'm talking about in that championship game compared to what AD was doing. His job wasn't to lead the team in points like he did. It's not to lead
You
the
know what
team
he's
defensively.
you know what he did?
He wasn't.
No, you're just wrong. Okay, so I finally found the stats. You're just completely wrong. LeBron averaged 30 points per game in that series. Anthony Davis averaged 25. Anthony Davis averaged 3.2 assists. LeBron averaged 8.5 assists.
Okay, look.
Anthony
at the
Davis
plus-
1.3 steals,
look-
1.2 steals.
Look at the plus minus when AD was on the floor and when he wasn't. Look at the minutes played. LeBron played almost every damn minute.
Exactly.
Bro,
That would explain why his plus minus is worse.
his plus minus is worse.
Yes, because he played every minute of the game. That would explain why his plus minus is worse. Plus minus is not a good stat to go by. First of all, let's just point that out there now. Just because you're on the floor, it doesn't mean the other 4 bozos on the court are any good. It's not a good stat. It's just simply not a good stat. LeBron averaged more points. He averaged more assists. I mean, where's the rebounds at? 10. Oh, LeBron also averaged more rebounds, more points, more assists, more rebounds. What else do you want? Player coach. You called him a player coach. He averaged 30 points. He averaged the most points in the series. Player coach? Are we serious here?
I'm sticking to that. I'm sticking
Yes, we
to
know
that.
because your opinions on sports are trash. You have just so many bad
they're-
opinions.
Bro, no, it's not. Bro,
Yes, it
you're
is.
not understanding me. You're not understanding me.
You took
thinking
plus
something
minus.
so bad. You're thinking something so bad when you're thinking player coach.
Yes,
It's
yes,
not,
I am
it's
because
not that bad.
that is horrible.
I'm
player
not
coach is a
saying he's
horrible thing to
UD.
call somebody.
I'm not
That's-
calling him UD. I'm not calling him UD.
Then what is a player coach? Please just explain to me in black and white what a player coach
Bro.
means to you. And then also after you explain that, please explain to me what UD is.
UD is a player coach. But I'm not saying he's like UD. I'm not saying that. Being a player coach, there's different levels of being a player coach. You're not understanding me here, sir. Being a player coach right? For LeBron, that's going out there and helping the guys on the floor, leading them with his knowledge on the court. Meanwhile, he's still able to play. I'm not saying he's not able to play.
He was the best player in the
I'm
series.
I'm saying AD was still the best player in the series. You're looking at statistics and bringing statistics into it again. If you look at when AD was on the floor, he had a bigger impact on the game. Hey, whoa. We got to cover those bad boys up.
I got nothing. This was a shirt I got today. Pretty clean. Little two-tone. The off little. I think is that off white? Yeah, that might just be regular white. But I like this shade of blue. And then underwear. I'll give you $100 if you can guess what I was eating.
$100 if I can guess what you were eating.
I'll give you $100, and you have to be specific.
Can I guess? Let me get two guesses.
Okay.
The first guess is going to be between a snack or a meal, and I'm going to guess it was a snack.
Okay, it was obviously not a meal. Like,
Okay.
come on.
Is it a type of cookie? Is it
No.
a type of cookie? It's not. Okay, I got nothing.
Sour Patch Kids.
I see. I saw the yellow.
Specifically-
I saw the yellow.
Specifically, the Christmas Coal edition that I've just had sitting in my room for the past 5 months.
That's disgusting.
Disgusting. It goes bad in 3 months. It's fruit snacks, not fruit snacks. I don't think it's appropriate to call these fruit snacks. It's just sugar that has fruit flavoring. All right, they don't go bad, and they also weren't open until about 20 minutes ago.
Okay, that's fair enough. I thought they were open already. I'm like, that's disgusting.
I don't even know if it's I don't even know if that's worth making a video out of. Like I think I should. But like
I don't think you understand.
No, I heard you.
When I call him a player coach, I'm not.
It was not
talking
just that.
down
It was
to,
also you said that Anthony Davis is a better player in the series, which is just nobody.
go
Anthony
back
Davis's-
and rewatch the
Anthony
series.
Davis's family wouldn't argue that. Anthony Davis.
Do me a favor.
You-
Do me a
maybe-
favor. Do me
Maybe
a
somebody.
favor.
Wait. No. You do me a favor. You do
and
me
go
a
back and
favor.
rewatch the series.
Name one other guy
we'll
that's on the
rewatch
roster.
it together.
Name one other guy that was on the roster.
Schroeder.
I don't think that's true.
What's up, Kenna?
That's not true. Dennis Schroeder was not on the roster. Name me one other guy that's on the roster.
KCP.
KCP was in fact on the roster. Yes. Name me somebody else. Jeez, that's such a weird roster of guys.
It really was. AD carried that team so badly.
Okay. Be honest with me right now. How much of what you've said was trolling?
75%.
Okay, so do you actually think Anthony Davis was the best player in the series?
That I do believe, but I don't think LeBron was as bad as I was saying.
Okay. I don't know how much more bluntly I could put it. LeBron was the best player in the series, like without a doubt.
Bro, we'll rewatch it together, and I can
we both know that's not
show
going to
you
happen.
what
We both know that's not going to happen.
he's not gonna have because you
We
never
both-
like rewatching games.
That's not true. I'll rewatch like not too long ago. I rewatched like the highlights of like the last game and the 06 finals between the Heat and the Mavericks. I'll do something like that. Like if it comes across my timeline, I don't think timeline is the right way to put it, my feed on YouTube. But like I'm not gonna sit here and do some game tape of the 2020 finals. That's not gonna happen.
I wasn't gonna do game tape. I was just gonna do the what is it without the commercials? So you basically just get straight playing time.
Just the rewind, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. So they have a word for it for the NFL. I forgot what it is.
There's
but yeah.
literally not just there's just not a single way that Anthony Davis was better. I'm sorry, it's just not true. Okay, if he's better in blocks.
From what I remember,
Blocks is the only thing
that
he's got.
every time I think AD missed a game, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I don't think that's true.
I think the game that he
No, he
missed.
didn't. No, he didn't.
Or no.
He didn't miss a game.
Okay, wait. There was one game that he left early with an injury.
Oh no, but dude, LeBron shot 60% and was scoring 30 points per game. Are you kidding me? He shot 60% and had 30 points per game.
When I gave my opinion, I didn't look at the stats.
Yeah.
When
But you're
I
still
gave-
standing by it after I've given you all the stats.
Because from what I remember,
But you're
dude,
misremembering.
No, I'm not. I don't think I'm misremembering. When LeBron was on the floor that year, and without Anthony Davis on the floor, that the Heat would come back and it would be like they would be like down 15, and then they would be like down by like 2. Then Anthony Davis would come back in, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's back up to plus, or they're back up to like 20 in the lead or something crazy like that. It was just like every single time, and I'm like, dude, Anthony Davis, stay off the floor. And then the one game that we won, I think that Anthony Davis didn't play the full game. I think he left at like halftime or something
So
with an injury.
So here's the best way. So like I'm not saying this in an insulting way. I'm just saying this just objectively. Like you definitely haven't been a big basketball fan up until recently. Like you definitely got more into basketball the more the group chats talked about it, especially the more the Heat have been good recently. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I definitely haven't. I got more into basketball starting in 2020 when the Heat started being good again. I was in middle school when they were winning the championships, and I only really watched the finals back then. And dude, the only thing I really remember from those 4 finals runs in a row was Ray Allen's shot. That's the only thing I don't remember
Most
them
people.
winning Game 7. I just remember the shot. And bro, I misremembered that shot for like 3 or 4 years because I remember it being a buzzer.
A little bit of a pattern here. But like, here's the comparison I'll make that will, I hope, kind of make sense in your mind. So
LeBron showed y'all who he was when he left Cleveland. He just blinded y'all with stats. I'm not a LeBron hater, but I'm not like a LeBron fan.
LeBron's the
either.
greatest basketball player of all time. But here just let me explain to you what I've been trying to explain for the last few minutes. So you know how this year when Cody Zeller was on the floor instead of Bam Adebayo, how just atrocious the team was?
Yeah.
So there were probably some casual basketball fans that had not watched a lot of Miami Heat basketball, that didn't know who Bam was, who didn't know who Jimmy Butler was. There's probably some casual fans that would say that Bam Adebayo, especially that didn't watch that first Milwaukee series, there are probably some casual fans that would say Bam Adebayo is better than Jimmy Butler on the basis of when Cody Zeller was in instead of him, that the Heat looked so much worse. Whereas we all know that's completely false. Where Jimmy Butler is without a doubt the best player on the Heat. You can then take that over to the other side, back to 2020, where Anthony Davis wasn't on the floor. They didn't have anybody else that could contend with Bam Adebayo on both ends of the floor. So they then fell apart completely afterwards. Because then their backup center,
I'll give you that.
I'll give
you that. Was Dwight Howard.
Yeah, their backup center was Dwight Howard, an old Dwight Howard.
He actually played good. Not gonna lie. He played good.
No, he didn't.
Defensively.
I mean, maybe.
Offensively, no.
Maybe.
But
he averaged 2.8 points, 2.8 rebounds.
I've been trying to say something. So Jimmy Butler, undoubtedly, was the best player in the playoffs overall. However, in the finals, Bam was the best player.
Okay, the first thing you said, I don't think I would agree with that. I think just Nikola Jokic overall was, because Jimmy Butler had that first great series.
I was talking about Heat strictly.
Oh, okay. Then yes. But no, Jimmy Butler was still more impactful in the finals. Jimmy Butler was still the better player even in the finals. He was more
impactful in the sense that because he wasn't playing well, the team didn't play well. Like when Jimmy didn't play well, the only person that played well that series was Bam. Like overall, like if you look at all 5 games, the only person that averaged 20 and 10 the entire time was Bam. Besides, I'm talking about strictly on the Heat.
Here's the thing: Jimmy Butler still had, he didn't have a bad series, but also it was a drop from expectations. What we saw from Milwaukee, where he just set the bar so incredibly high. He wasn't getting as good of looks. He was also playing on a rolled ankle.
I was just gonna say he was playing on a bum ankle.
Yeah. So Anthony Davis,
Now we're not making excuses here. We're not making excuses.
Anthony Davis,
they were probably going to win anyway.
all that just to be said, Anthony Davis was definitely not better in that finals than LeBron James. I don't even know how I could make a video out of that, but that just when
you don't even have to make a video of that.
I mean, we're here. Like, we might as well clip everything up.
We've literally been
Hi guys,
on
this is how we
for,
create
30
content.
minutes
This is how we've created content the last 2 weeks. Was just
this is our
plug and
off-season
upload
content.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Speaking of, I think that's a good place to wrap it up. We've had some good conversation, had some good yelling at each other. But thank you all very much for joining the stream today. We got 4 people in here at the end. I appreciate all of y'all. I appreciate who is it, Hammer, even though he has some L opinions. I would completely.
Hammer had W takes.
Hammer. You have some horrible takes just like this man right here. So at least you have something in common with that guy. Y'all both just say some absolutely weird and wild things.
And don't forget, guys, join the Discord. If I ever see anything pop up on Twitter, I'm going to be posting it in the Dolphins Discord that we have in the description below. I think you have it in the description, right?
I'm pretty sure I do, but you only really you say something in there like once a week.
I've been slacking on it, but I'll get better at it once we get more people in there. Anything like there's different channels. We have Tua Truthers, wherever he is.
Where you are, you mean? Oh, wait, is Tua Truthers? Which side is Tua Truthers?
Tua Truthers is like Tua haters, but not haters.
I'm not a Tua hater at all. I'm the bridge. I'm the bridge of the 2 fan bases.
And then
keep it.
That's why we call Tua haters Tua Truthers, because Tua Truthers call themselves Tua, or Tua haters call themselves Tua Truthers. So we have that chat. We have a Tua non chat. R.I.P. The OG Tua non.
Yeah.
We also have Panthers, Heat. There's not a Marlins one in there.
They're actually good now.
Fans. We're not Marlins fans, but like we can put a Marlins thing in there just because I have the notifications on anyway. So if I see anything,
dude, I was accidentally
I
was accidentally wearing 3 pieces of Yankee memorabilia when I was in the mall. So I was wearing a Yankees hat. I was wearing I mean, who cares? Like everyone, no one's gonna bow up to a Yankees fan, but like especially down here in Miami, there's a bunch of Yankees fans. But I was wearing a Yankees hat. I was wearing my black Yankees hat. I was wearing my Giancarlo Stanton Yankees jersey, and then after I got done with my hike, I put on my Yankee slides.
Jeez, I wish Giancarlo Stanton was still good at baseball.
Yeah, I was about to say. I thought you were gonna say you wish he was still on the Marlins. I definitely don't. But yeah, we are definitely going to wrap it here. We are going to wrap it here. Thank you all very much for watching. If you haven't done so already, please click that little red subscribe button. We really appreciate it. We're getting really close to 1,000 subscribers, so it'd be wonderful if y'all did that for us. Don't
forget our competition.
Oh, I did. Well, I did forget about that, and I'm sure we've already lost that. But thank you all again very much for tuning in. Donovan, Jacob here, Miami Dolphins Syndicate. Y'all will see if you've missed any of this stream, you'll see some of these clips in the next few days. Anything else you got left to say, Donovan?
There's a little bit of breaking news. Not really breaking news, but the Pacers are interested in Max Strus, strongly weighing offering him a 3-year deal for $48 million.
We know he's done with the Heat. He's not going to be on the Heat next year. We know that for like 100% certainty, pretty much.
Fuck Tua, but he okay though.
What?
I think that's a middle finger.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree, but I like I said, I'm the bridge of the 2 fan bases, but I've been trying to outro this for like 5 minutes. So thank y'all very much for watching. Every single Wednesday, 7 p.m. As long as this guy shows up on time, which he didn't today. So every single Wednesday, 7 o'clock, give or take, we'll be here live. If you've missed any of this stream, the next few days we'll be posting the clips from it. So thank y'all very much for watching.